Hey all, it's Karen from Karen Test Stuff. I'm here today with a new video, which will be my first full-length video back in a while, and I'm really excited because this video is going to be all about an announcement that I have to make. I'm officially open to new roles in testing. I'm primarily looking for a career change to stay within the testing quality space, but I am open to positions that are also something along the lines of Scrum Master or Product Owner. Basically, anywhere where I get to continue to advocate for quality processes and the people who make software. So, the purpose of this video is to introduce myself if you're not familiar with myself or my work, give you a little bit of background on my skills and my experience, let you know what I'm looking for out of a new role, and what would make me thrive in that role. And I'm open to roles in the Netherlands or internationally with Netherlands visa support because I would like to stay in the country where I've grown to build a life. So without any further ado, let's jump in. All right, so here's a quick introduction of the highlights. We'll go into more detail in the rest of the video. I'm Karen of Karen Test Stuff on YouTube and social media. I'm cat mom to Liliana of the Dark Realms, who may or may not make an appearance at some point during this video. I'm a professional advocate of quality in the testing realm, and I've been learning my craft for over 5 years. And I'm passionately dedicated to accessibility of software and the development practices that build that software. These are some of the values that I hold dearly that influence my personal life and my professional career. Humans are more than a number on a spreadsheet. We are individual people with various needs and wishes. It's hard to get a handle on who the people are that work for you if you don't engage directly with those people. Make the effort to get to know what makes them tick, what inspires them, what really helps them do their job well. Progress over perfection means I have to start somewhere. That's the hard part, starting on something that I'm not immediately perfect at. But if I don't start, I can never achieve better. Kindness is more useful than niceness, I've learned, because as a quality advocate, I need to say not so nice things in the kindest way possible. Ignoring the bad stuff won't make it go away. It might even make it worse. So I use kindness and empathy in the delivery of things that I need to say that are constructive. Something that's really important, I mentioned it just a minute ago, is that real engagement with employee needs rather than providing stale wellness programs. It's more important to me that we have the things that we need to achieve our goals in healthy ways rather than have a ping pong table or a yoga membership, which I know for some people are really great benefits. But for me, I need a little bit more to be able to do my job well. And last, for this particular topic, accessibility for all is a huge value that I hold, not only in making an accessible end product, but throughout the life cycle of software development. For example, I want to be sure that business roles understand technical problems in the way that matters to them so that they can make decisions to guide the product well. And that means they need accessibility to what we're working on, transparency in our work, and we need to be able to communicate it in a way that once again makes sense to them. My varied work history means that I bring a lot of insight into my quality role from other fields of study. I'm a lifelong woman of science. If you don't know, I come from Missouri in the United States, where the state nickname is the Show Me State. Show me the evidence that supports your claims. Show me the science and experimentation that led to this truth. That's what really excites me. Because I was raised on self study in the pursuit of improving myself, I'm often curious about the journeys and stories of others. What was the background? What process brought you to this point? As a quality professional from a service background, I have experience across multiple industries, including people management roles, where I've learned how to communicate up and down hierarchies, hospitality and customer service, which make me a really great user advocate, as well as highly regulated safety cultures, which taught me how to manage critical infrastructure in rigorous environments. And as I mentioned before, accessibility of software is very important for me, for our users, and also for the people involved in creating software. In that regard, I often advocate for unseen user groups' needs and for psychologically safe team environments. When I'm faced with a challenge that piques my interest, it's easy for me to lose hours or days in cracking the task. I find different types of tasks more intriguing than working on a single project for months on end. However, I'm pretty good at gamifying those kind of long term projects to trick my brain into working with me in unique ways. More about that in my conference talk that I give about harnessing my neurodivergence for work. Some of my favorite challenges that I led or faced off against are bug hunt sessions for different types of team members. I love to spearhead exploratory sessions for team members and business roles together. The mix of roles often uncovers surprising differing expectations for system behavior, and clarified assumptions align on practical user journeys through the process. In a past role, I was testing the integration of multiple systems through which a human resource employee would register employee data. For this task, I needed to create unique personas to test really complex data flows. My natural "what happens if I dot dot dot" resulted in a more robust suite of failure recovery plans for murky interactions between service lines and systems that were managed by multiple teams. My favorite test project involved on site accessibility testing for a wayfinding application. The campus frequently would add tenants and was too large to navigate easily by outdated signage, but also was too small for Google Maps to routinely assist navigating between building addresses. When walking the campus myself, I was able to mark navigable routes for people with mobility concerns within the design of the app, noting which sidewalks included stairs or which entrances were accessible for wheelchairs or other mobility devices. That was so much fun. But here's the real meat of what I'm looking for out of my next role. The most important aspect of my roles in quality has been advising on quality objectives and processes to a team. This includes consulting on quality aspects or hands-on testing with coaching on improvements. It's kind of a well-rounded what every software tester should be doing or could be doing. But this is something that's been integral through the entire process for me, is trying to help coach on these quality matters. Presenting ideas has also always been important for me. I learn best when I learn in public. Teaching others cements my knowledge and makes sure I can break these concepts into easily digestible information for others. Through my conference and meetup attendance, I like to carry the influence of the company culture to communities, as well as prompting discussion and growth across the business on my return. In that regard, the balance between client or internal work and community engagement, it's really important that leadership supports that development of the content. I've worked in places previously where I would spend 3 days at a conference and then be greeted with questions like, "Oh, how was your time off?" Well, knowledge work is work and should be recognized as such. And it's important that idea is kind of built into the people who will be managing me and help me with my career growth. Oh, buddy, here's the big stuff, the non-negotiables, the stuff I absolutely must have in order to find a position that fits my basic needs. The biggest one is I need a recognized sponsor for highly skilled migrant visas here in the Netherlands. There are different salary requirements, government requirements, things that you have to meet to be a recognized sponsor within this country so that I can continue to live and work here. So that's the biggest one, is that I'm looking for someone to be able to transfer my existing visa sponsorship to a new employer. Something else that's very important is accommodation to work within my brain's natural rhythms and strengths. It's even more amazing if there are company policies already in place to assist in my integration to the new employment, like an awareness of neurodivergence and the different ways that people's brains work. Something that goes along these lines is like a work from home majority, so that I can be in a quiet, closed environment that I control, so that I can do my best work when I get into those focus periods. If that's not a possibility, quiet office spaces are a necessity. I need something like a small phone booth, or a small room where if someone needs my attention, they can wave at me and then I can come meet with them when I'm done, when I've completed my task. And also, something that helps is a structure in scheduling that accounts for off peak productivity time. Sometimes I'm at my most productive in the early mornings when a lot of people like to have meetings, or it'll be in the evenings after normal work hours. The afternoons are a bit of a struggle for me sometimes. It takes some time for me to gain energy back after an afternoon dip. But the absolute most important thing for me personally is content freedom for Karen Test stuff on YouTube and everywhere else I appear. It's my voice here, and it's not for sale. I decide on the content, frequency, and appropriateness of my online activities, especially for places like my LinkedIn account, where I often share personal trials and successes because I feel that platform in particular is missing a lot of that human element of business. The internet could use an encouraging voice to lift each other up, and I always aim to be located near one of those bright corners of the web. For all the rest, there are things that are nice to have that lift me up and excite me. But if they're only partially fulfilled, it's not a deal breaker. Do your employees have access to a centralized knowledge sharing framework? I'm talking internal repositories, knowledge sharing meetups, allowances for external conferences, sponsorship at conferences, and community outreach in general. And is there a budget for continuous learning? Like I said, I'm a lifelong woman of science. I'm consistently learning. And it's nice if the company that I work for would support those endeavors to continue learning about new tools and frameworks as the technology emerges. I would also like to be able to tighten my focus around accessibility in software. I want to be an expert on the topic here in the Netherlands and hopefully set an example for other testers across the EU to embrace the new regulations so that as many people as possible can use the software that we're helping to create. I want to update my existing testing skills from the US, where I was doing quite a lot of accessibility testing, to the new EU requirements that were instigated last year. And I really want to see people that look like me in leadership, to know my voice would be heard and considered when changes come, as they always do. I'd like to see diverse representation across genders and experiences. But all of that being said, I'm really glad that you sat through all of this with me to get to know me a little bit better, because I'm willing to give out my CV, of course, and to write as many motivation letters as I need, but I was excited about this prospect because it's so much more personal. You get to see me. You get to see my passion, the things that I care about. And it's not just a piece of paper that you can pass through a system where AI will flag the buzzwords. This is the way you get to know me. You get to know the real person that you're investing in. And I hope it's somebody that excites you. So if you have a vacancy, or if you're looking for a consultant or an internal team member, please reach out to me on social media. Message me on LinkedIn. Connect with me. Let's have a conversation.